Beamer Tire and Auto Repair, now with 3 locations across the Triad in High Point, Greensboro, and our new location in Kernersville. Beamer Tire and Auto offers full-service auto repair, all tire brands, free alignment checks, oil changes, and more. In Kernersville, check out the no appointment needed Quick Lube shop. Check out their thousands of 5-star ratings via Google and Yelp. They care because they know that you can go anywhere. So try a shop with a beating heart, not a bottom line. Beamer Tire and Auto Repair. Visit us on Facebook or at beamertire.com.
In professional sports, a franchise player is an athlete who is not simply the best player on their team, but one that the team can build their franchise around for the foreseeable future.
Happy Monday. It's Monday edition, all the way live of Franchise Players. You're in the huddle with the franchise players, along with our producer, Desmond Johnson, on the Wheels of Steel. I'm JP Mundy, along with the next head coach of the Charlotte Hornets, Mr. Ryan Stone.
I'm available.
We are live.
My services are available.
Des, where are we? We're on Facebook Live tonight. We're on our YouTube channel tonight. Are we on?
We are
what?
all over the place. We're on we're on the Facebook Watch for Tobacco Road Sports Radio. We're on Sports Carolina Monthly's Facebook Watch. We're on my LinkedIn. We're on Tobacco Road's YouTube channel, Tobacco Road's Twitter account at Tobacco Radio, Sports Carolina 1 on Twitter, and of course on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. The audio is streaming, so you guys.
So we're everywhere but on the radio, which means we can cuss tonight, JP.
Kinda, yeah. I guess. I mean, I didn't want to. Is this going to be like the like BET After Dark type version of franchise?
Oh wait a minute! This is an 8 o'clock start, man.
Well, he brought out that hat, so he's already brought us to an interesting start.
That's right, man. It's Players After Dark. It's Players After Dark. That sun's going down, man.
It is going down.
Next week, before we get into the meat of the show, I want to just make a plea. See if you can get it done, Desmond. You know that digital billboard that's on Business 40 as you drive through downtown? Yep. I want our next Facebook Live broadcast on that. I want Adrian Snow, Todd Willard, and all of our high school coaches who are heading home or heading into town to look up and see Ryan and my face.
You can't wear that hat.
Down on them.
Can't wear that hat if that's the case. That's a distraction.
You need to get used to this. You need to get used to this. You know what happened right now? If Willard is watching right now, he's already trying to look on Amazon and figure out where to go.
I don't think I've ever seen him wear a hat besides a regular baseball cap.
But you need a black card. You need a black card for fashion like this.
Don't do
it. It's got a band. It's got a band on it and everything.
Man, you got that from the thrift store.
You got those Macklemore fedoras.
I feel like Reverend Run, man. I feel like back in the day.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of when I saw you in that hat. That's exactly what
was the first thing I thought of. It really
was. Let's jump into it. Ryan, our weekly, it seems, visit into the most Charlotte sports thing ever. Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson is the head coach, right? He accepts during the Warriors' run to the NBA championship. There's an agreement in principle, but nothing signed. Okay? He's a former head coach, so he's not looking for his first head coaching job. He's a sought-after assistant, but he does have a good job in Golden State. Yep. Then we get a Woj bomb on Saturday stating that after further discussions with the Hornets, between him and the Hornets, he is going to decline the offer. And then earlier today, courtesy of NBC Sports, I believe, they cited a Will Kunkel, who covers Charlotte sports for Fox. He reported that Atkinson had backed out due to family reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now, of course, the armchair quarterbacks everywhere. We could say we did the same thing, kind of yesterday when we first started hearing about it. Oh, he's the head coach in waiting. Oh, he's this, he's that. We've got people saying that, it's because Charlotte's trash and it's not a free agent destination. I'll start with you, Ryan.
You said that. That was you, not people. That was JP Mundy saying that second one.
No, I have seen other people say it, not just him.
No. I can atone for my sins later. I don't need your help, Dr. Dre.
Carry on.
You keep making the beats. I'll keep singing the hits.
So I've got Rev Run, Dr. Dre, and Eminem. Okay.
You're roll there. My bad. I'm sorry. Go for it.
I just had just an evil idea. Oh, anyway, let's stay on track though. What reasons can we think of why he would back out? It can't be financial, is it?
No. Well, Will said that the family reasons are that he's got I think a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old, and they'd rather live in the Bay Area than Charlotte. Like it literally just came down to that. And
I think that makes sense. And also, I mean,
believe him.
They did just win a championship. I think that probably changed a little bit too.
And he got promoted to assistant head coach, which technically kind of is head coach in waiting. How old is Steve Kerr? Steve Kerr's got to be.
They're actually the same age. They're actually the same age. They're like a year apart. I don't think he's the head coach in waiting. I think it is family, and I mean, if they hadn't won the championship, might have been a little bit of a different discussion. But I think the fact they just won the championship and they're already. I mean, the Warriors are already hyping themselves up to repeat. So I think he feels like he's in a good spot.
He's probably getting about as much as he was going to get as head coach in Charlotte too. I mean, the Lacombs have money; like they can pay him to stay if they want. That's not going to count against the cap. They can pay him whatever they want. So
to play devil's advocate here, why wouldn't you talk this over? Wouldn't you have thought, like, Desmond, you and I are married. I'm not accepting a job at the local Denny's without consulting my wife and family first. He would have had to have talked to his wife. Hey, I'm going to pack up everything out of San Francisco and we're going to head down to North Kakalaki, right? So that's the only thing that makes it sound a little wonky. And I'm not trying to get too deep into this. Family's a great reason.
Well, maybe that's why he didn't sign it. Maybe he told them that,
Maybe he jumped the gun.
Yeah, and then he went home and realized his family, his wife and kids, did not want any parts of Charlotte, North Carolina, and that's when he was like, "Oh, I've made a mistake." And then in between that, they won an NBA championship, so it makes it kind of fuzzy. But I'm hearing my problem now is that Hornets fans loved the pick before, and as soon as he changed his mind, now they're just dumping on Kenny Atkinson. Like, well, fine, we didn't want you anyway. You're a horrible coach. I'm like, come on, Hornets fans, let's get it together. Come on.
Well, they do need a coach, like right now.
Yeah.
They need a coach before Thursday night.
Okay, and that's what I had to check the calendar. I had to check the calendar, and I was like, how many days do they need to, oh no, this is bad. So, Kupchak, obviously.
3 now. Okay, and then free agency starts on June 30th. So, it's a horrible time.
I saw a thing online where this is Steve Kerr's like 20-year revenge on Michael Jordan punching him in the eye in that practice in that Bulls.
That's pretty good.
Back.
That's pretty good.
All right. If, let's say, worst case scenario, the draft starts and there's no coaching resolution in Charlotte, that's probably not going to happen, I would imagine. But that means that Kupchak has to make the selections, and then their head coaching choice has to kind of buy in to what's on the bench, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Meanwhile, LaMelo Ball just bought a $20 million mansion in Los Angeles this week. So
and Miles Bridges is seeking a max contract. That's the report today. So
and the report is Charlotte going to match it. So
Charlotte is not going to. Skylar Callahan actually reported that. It seems that the front office in Charlotte is going to be reluctant to pay that max contract. Now, here's the thing.
But here's the thing. That was the report a couple weeks ago on Zach LaVine, too. That the Bulls were did not initially offer him the max. Now, that has not been verified, but now it's coming out that it's very likely that Zach LaVine is going to stay in Chicago. So a lot of this is other GMs playing games, trying to cause friction and cause problems. Also, if Miles Bridges wants the max, the Hornets are probably going to give it to him. Because
what's the like 80 million, something like that for him?
We just saw an entire NBA playoffs in the last 5 years of the NBA, and even more, has been all about wings who can do multiple things. Miles Bridges is athletic, he can guard, and he can shoot. Somebody will pay him the max. So the Hornets, Hornets better.
It's supposed to be the Hornets. Like, this is the past 2 years we've watched teams win the NBA championship by doing it the way that we all complained about how the league had shifted from doing. Instead of like slapping together these super teams, Milwaukee, Golden State, they did it through the draft. They did it through honing their own players. And that's what the Hornets were trying to do. So it would make no sense.
Also, if you
just walk.
If you want to keep LaMelo Ball, and it seems very unlikely, you better sign Miles Bridges because that's his guy.
Hell, they might need to sign LaMelo Ball's dad, LeVar, to coach if they want to keep him. That might be
Is there any precedent for calling James Borrego back and say, hey, what had happened was,
why would he come back? You know what I mean? Like, why would, if that was you, would you go back to that job?
If it was me, I'm broke as a joke, man. So yeah, I'm going to go back. But
you would be,
look,
if you were James Borrego, would you go back to that job?
It depends on how married to he got fired out of the blue, at least to all of us. And if he was shocked by his own dismissal and he truly believed in his system and he truly believed in any progress that was being made, it would be an opportunity to say, all right, I can prove these guys right. But that's the only reason I'd go.
Call Frank Vogel.
Yeah.
Call Quinn Snyder.
They said Mike D'Antoni was one of the finalists when they.
I'm not calling Mike D'Antoni. I'm out. No.
Frank Vogel. I saw some stuff. I mentioned Mark Jackson to both you guys earlier in the week when it first happened on our train. Boy. But I've seen some stuff about Mark Jackson that came out, I guess, back in May that I hadn't read. The reason why he's not the Golden State coach anymore.
Yeah, he's an egomaniac.
Well, he's super religious, and apparently he imposed his religion on a lot of the Golden State players, especially towards the end, where
he was preaching at the same time.
Right, yeah, and I can kind of see that. You kind of see that in Mark Jackson. He's kind of got a preacher type vibe. Yeah, I don't think that would work with a young team like Charlotte, which is probably why I don't even know if he was interviewed for this or seriously. So
you know what? Maybe they should hire him. Miles Bridges is posting pictures with the lean in his cup and a joint in his hand. So maybe he needs Mark Jackson.
That's to push him further to the dark side. You bring a minister in to talk to him about the dangers of drugs.
Wait.
Like, no.
Wait a minute. That's Miles Bridges who had the pictures of lean and.
Yes.
Bro, this has been a hard week for the Charlotte Hornets. Like
because Trez got pulled over with a pound of weed, and there should be
no.
It was more than a pound. Yeah, he's looking at
I thought it was 1 pound. On Friday, I thought it was a pound.
No, he had
it was 3 pounds.
It was more than just personal usage. He was.
So that's right, because he got a trafficking charge. Mm-hmm. So that's good. Which begs the question. If you were making $10 million a year, why do you need to drive somebody's hash browns across the state line?
Well, who was
You're out of the game, right?
I don't think he's driving across the state lines.
Well, what I'm saying is why?
That's a very different charge. If you cross the state line with it, it's a very different charge. It's a very different charge.
This is still bad. This is still bad because he was up for getting re-signed, and he's from the area, and I think he would have fit in better with a different coach. He's undersized, but.
I think his charge will get reduced because he's never really had anything else. But
it's out there. Do you want him? Do you want to re-sign him?
Well, and that's a fair question for the Hornets to ask. But I'm just saying I do think his charge will get reduced. I don't think he's going to get maximum punishment or anything.
Yeah.
But no matter if they sign their coach, say they get Frank Vogel in town tomorrow, if you're a free agent, do you look at what's happened with the Charlotte Hornets over the last 3 weeks and say, yep, Charlotte is on my list? Now I know money talks. Money talks.
I don't think you hadn't really heard much about the Hornets in terms of free agency, like trying to sign anybody. You had heard about them maybe trying to trade for a Rudy Gobert or a DeAndre
Ayton
or something like that, Miles Turner. But you haven't really heard about them signing anybody necessarily. I think it was more in the notion of you got the 2 picks, and then you could try to trade for a center if you're not happy with how the draft goes.
And I've been seeing Mark Williams from Duke get attached to them at number 13 an awful lot.
Some of them in 15. I think, depending on how it shakes out. I mean, honestly, if and this is what the Hornets have to be cognizant of in this draft. You have a team behind you in the Hawks that doesn't need a center.
Yep.
If they stay at 14, they could move up, and that could change things. But if Mark Williams is still there at 13, you can wait until 15 for Mark Williams if the Hawks are sitting there at 14. And you could take somebody else like a Jeremy Sohan or a, if AJ Griffin falls to there or somebody else, Ochai Agbaji.
Yeah. Is it me or is this draft just kind of like blah? Like it doesn't really feel like there's anybody, like any game changers in this draft.
I think there's a few. It's just not a ton of depth.
I would have said Banchero, but
no, I think Banchero is who I would take number 1. I will say
Banchero
he makes
number 1, but
because I don't trust Chet Holmgren's body.
Nope.
I don't trust Jabari Smith's production.
Yeah. I would take him number 1.
I would take Banchero 1, and honestly, I'd take Jaden Ivey 2.
I would agree with that.
I will say this: if Frank Vogel and DeAndre Ayton end up in Charlotte, they need to give a portion of their signing bonus to Ryan Stone because he's been banging that drum for 4 minutes. Des, do we need to take a break, man?
We're good for a couple more minutes.
All right.
I don't have a problem with Vogel because the main problem the Hornets had was defense, and that's supposed to be his calling card. So I had him up towards the top of the list to interview in the first place, and I don't think they ever did.
That's why you can't sign D'Antoni because he's not gonna improve their weakness. He's not gonna
for everyone.
Also,
LaMelo Ball like a 35-point per game James Harden type player, but
I think he would make LaMelo Ball worse.
That is, yeah.
Well,
look at James Harden.
One other thing I would say, if as far as free agents that they could maybe have a chance at, it was announced today that PJ Tucker is going to test the free agency market. He opted out of his $7.4 million deal. They need somebody like PJ Tucker.
Isn't he from North Carolina?
He's a Raleigh guy. Yeah, he's a Raleigh guy. So, I mean, they need somebody like a PJ Tucker in that locker room that's tough, that's defensive minded, that's going to challenge and push everybody. Like he would be perfect for them.
I agree. That would actually be a good pickup for them and probably pretty affordable too.
Yeah.
They got to extend Miles. At this point, they're on the clock with LaMelo. LaMelo's got 4 years or 2 years left on the deal, his rookie deal.
Yeah.
And he's going to start talking extension as soon as the middle of this upcoming season into the end of it, probably. And you really got to find a person that's like, I'd like for them to find a former point guard, like someone that he can learn from and learn how to lead this team. Because the other parts are interchangeable.
You call Freddie.
Freddie.
You call Freddie Johnson over at Greensboro Day.
Hey, at this point, he might be on the Rolodex for Jordan. Like, hey, man, it'd be funny if he called Hubert Davis. Hired him. That would be
We couldn't make it. We couldn't make it 19 minutes past 8 o'clock.
I thought Hubert Davis too when we said that, but I didn't want to make Dez cry or make his head explode.
The dude played in the pros. He's got pro experience. He's like number 3 all time in 3-point percentage. Just a thought. He's
not leaving UNC.
No more.
And that brings Wes back to Chapel Hill. It all works out. Well, we've got
Wes Miller, Charlotte.
That's what I'm saying.
How about that? Let's do that.
That's right. We have got the coaching situation.
We're honestly right back to where we were last summer.
Exactly. See how everything goes full circle in Tobacco Road. We get you right back to Wes Miller. That's what we do.
Back to the Wes Miller.
This is why I've got nothing left up here.
Wes Miller. That looks better than what you got on your head.
Bro, don't be jealous. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
What do you two think they should? Well, actually, I don't even know if you can answer this question without knowing who the head coach is. But what do you think they should do with these picks? Should they use them both,
Mark
or should they
the first thing I would do, I would call the Sacramento Kings. They are a moronic franchise that makes a ton of stupid mistakes. I would call the Sacramento Kings and see what it would take to get the 4th pick and pray that Jaden Ivey falls to 4.
Ooh, What would you give up for?
That is 100% what I would.
You'd have to give up the 13th, the 15th, and then probably a player or two.
Maybe not that. It depends on what the Kings would want.
It is.
I'm not giving them the everything or anything for number 4, but 13, 15, and Gordon Hayward. Like I'd do that.
I'd throw in what position does Ivy play?
He's a 2 guard.
I'd throw in Rozier.
I might throw in Rozier.
You got Book Knight. He hardly played, and he was a first-round pick last year.
I'd throw in Clifford Rozier, but I'm not throwing Terry.
I might throw Book Knight in actually over instead of Rozier.
Well, I figured the Kings would rather have Rozier than Book Knight because they haven't really seen.
They're kind of on a youth thing, but I don't. They might be interested in Book Knight. And I did read today that the rumors for a while have been that the Kings would be the team that high in the draft might look to trade. But I did read today from Shams that might not be the case anymore, that they're getting more comfortable with drafting at 4. So there might not be a discussion. That's the only spot in the draft I would look to trade to. The top 3 is going to be too expensive. There's really not, like you said, there's really not a ton of game changers in a ton of – like I wouldn't trade to 7. The Blazers or I wouldn't trade there. I would stay at 13 and 15 over that. The only way I would trade up is if I get in the top 5 and get one of the top 5 guys. Now, if that doesn't happen, I think there are 4 players that the Hornets probably covet with these 2 picks. Mark Williams. I think AJ Griffin would be high up on the list because he can shoot and guard. Jeremy Sohan, because he's defensive-minded and athletic.
Is that the annoying dude from Baylor with the colored hair?
Yes, with colored hair, yes. Cisco, if you will.
Yeah.
Cisco. A 6'9" athletic Cisco.
That's vision right there. That's wow.
And now I've lost my train of thought on who the 4th one was. I said AJ Griffin, Jeremy Sohan, Mark Williams.
Yeah.
Ochai Agbaji.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't mind having Agbaji with Charlotte.
Yeah, I think he would be a solid fit.
Kind of fits with the young half line. Be a good.
And he guards.
Yeah, and he guards.
Real quick, and I don't think that they announced. I don't think they align with the Hornets' needs. Ryan, what did you see the latest projections were for Jake LaRavia and Alondas Williams? I thought that Jake had made his way into the first round.
He's popping up at the end of the first round a lot. Okay. So that's a good look for him. Alondas, I think, is kind of mid-second round from what I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. Again, there's nothing about this draft that excites me. There's no one player where I'm like, if a team gets that guy is going to be a difference maker immediately. There's no Zion Williamson. There's no shot.
I think Paolo Banchero will walk into the NBA and average 15 a game at least.
That's not game changing though. And plus, he had
some where you go.
Where he just disappeared sometimes during the season. That's the thing that worries me.
I didn't say there weren't things to do. I didn't say there weren't. I didn't say he was perfect. I'm just saying I think he can make an impact.
I think he'll be a good piece on.
And I think Jaden Ivey's an impact player.
I do think I've been like a Ja Morant type of.
I've been beating that drum since early in January. I am the king and the leader. Anybody that's not a Purdue fan of the Jaden Ivey fan train, I will fan bus. I will admit it, but I really think his bounce, his shot, his athleticism, I think he's perfect for today's NBA.
I do think he'll be like that.
They're gonna hire Hubert, and then they're gonna draft with the 15th pick Brady Manick, and then I'm gonna go burn down the penthouse.
Brady might get drafted. I wouldn't expected it, but he's been showing out in some of these NBA camps. I don't think he ain't gonna go first round, but I can see the Hornets taking a second on him for real. He's kind of what they look for: stretch four, can get out there and pick and pop, hit the three, shoot 45%. I mean, what's not to like? I mean, I think he'll find some team to get on some sort of back of rotation for.
Is he better than Mason Plumlee on day one? That's
Lord, like right now, get out of here, Mason Plumlee. Like
what?
I will say this about today's NBA though, and Manick can shoot it a lot better than Plumlee. There's no question. Like,
No, yeah,
I don't know what
definitely.
happened. I don't know what happened to Mason Plumlee's free throw shooting, by the way, because he was like a 70% free throw shooter at Duke, and now he's like 36%. I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, the answer is yes. I would take Brady Manick.
The reason I would push back on that a little bit is because Mason Plumlee is way more athletic.
Oh yeah.
All the Plumlees are known for getting you on a dunk out of nowhere, and you didn't expect that to happen. That's kind of their thing. But I think I just saw if he's on the roster tomorrow, then his contract becomes fully guaranteed for the season. So you heard it here first. If you see Mason Plumlee got cut by the Hornets on Tuesday, it's because they didn't want to pay him his guaranteed money or whatever. If he's on, then they want to keep him.
If he gets cut, then there is just no trade value whatsoever.
I don't really think there is.
Good news for Mason Plumlee, though. He can go to China like Tyler Hansbrough and average 20 a game.
For 10 years, yeah. Go over there and get that in, buddy. Go get that
guys like Mason Plumlee can drift around the NBA for years, double-digit years.
Yeah.
So there's trade value for him somewhere.
Let's take a quick break and come back. What you got coming up for?
I think you know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Mount Rushmore when we come back.
Not a good guy.
We'll talk about Mount Rushmore.
Not a good guy.
not a good Mount Rushmore.
Not a good Mount Rushmore at all.
All right, we'll be back in just a sec.
Here at Tobacco Road Sports Radio, we ask the tough questions.
Hey, you got any left-handed footballs?
We're never afraid to tell you how we feel.
Oh, we look like the damn Bad News Bears.
We'll debate sports. We'll debate anything.
Man, you lying. You ain't never met Martin Luther King. Not the way I did. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. No, he did not.
No matter what, Tobacco Road Sports Radio has you covered.
I'm going to come right back at him. Soldier.
You're listening to Tobacco Road Sports Radio.
Hey, are you sitting around wondering how much your house is worth in today's economy? Well, wonder no more. Just ask your agent. Jenny Fulton with Allen Tate Realtors can help. Contact Jenny today for a free analysis on your home. Call her at 336-978-0041 or email at jenny.fulton@allentate.com and get the easy process started today. Why wait? In the market to buy? Jenny can help you find a perfect home in the Triad also. Jenny Fulton, Allen Tate Realty. Call 336-978-0041. Start the process and ask your agent today.
Walkertown Auto Sales. Look no further when shopping for your next vehicle. Located in the heart of the Triad at 3076 Walkertown View Drive in Walkertown, Walkertown Auto Sales specializes in affordable and reliable used cars, trucks, and SUVs. They offer financing with good credit, bad credit, or no credit, with interest rates as low as 3.9%. With knowledgeable employees that are always willing to go the extra mile, you'll drive away with the car of your dreams at Walkertown Auto Sales. Check out the entire online inventory now at WalkertownAutoSales.com.
Beamer Tire and Auto Repair, now with 3 locations across the Triad in High Point, Greensboro, and our new location in Kernersville. Beamer Tire and Auto offers full-service auto repair, all tire brands, free alignment checks, oil changes, and more. In Kernersville, check out the no appointment needed Quick Lube shop. Check out their thousands of 5-star ratings via Google and Yelp. They care because they know that you can go anywhere. So try a shop with a beating heart, not a bottom line. Beamer Tire and Auto Repair. Visit us on Facebook or at beamertire.com.
In professional sports, a franchise player is an athlete who is not simply the best player on their team, but one that the team can build their franchise around for the foreseeable future.
Back in the huddle, franchise players. What is that bump music?
That is Cameron, The Rock, Just Blazing the boards.
You know, Dez and I had a conversation about Cameron a couple weeks ago. For somebody that doesn't like Cam very much, he sure does use a lot of his bump music.
I like Just Blaze a lot. So Cameron tends to fall on a lot of that stuff. Just Blaze. I just finished rewatching the Yeezus Kanye documentary that's on Netflix and completely forgot about like 15 songs from College Dropout, Late Registration, graduation, so I had to go. I've been digging through beds all day today, looking for stuff, and Just Blaze comes up a lot. So,
what song did you get mad at me for playing all the time when I was doing softball over at Duke?
You kept playing that Timberland and Magoo song.
You darn right I did.
Clock Strikes. Yeah, I had to text. I was like, "Yo, stop playing that song. You playing like every month, coming back in with it."
He looks like Magoo tonight.
I kept expecting Kit to show up and like drive you off or something. Like,
I love it, man.
Night Rider.
I did it one time Saturday night just as a tribute to you.
Boys, I still play it myself. I just don't play it 5 times.
Yeah,
spread it out. You're the maestro.
There's 4. No, I'm not the maestro of anything. I'm a goof with a hat. Look, there are 4 faces on Mount Rushmore, and I'm not sure what kind. I really don't know what kind of school education Ryan got in Danville, but there are 4 faces on Mount Rushmore. If I were to tell you there was a Mount Rushmore of villainy, of sports villainy, and I gave you these 3 names, I want to know who you'd put at number 4. We are not debating the top 3. Otherwise, this will be a 17-hour-long franchise players. So I'm giving you face number 1 is George Steinbrenner. Face number 2, Jerry Jones. Face number 3, Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
This is sports owners, right?
This is sports. I have decided I'm going to open it up because what we're going to cut, this will be the shortest segment in history because everybody's going to say, well, we're probably going to discuss him later. There's an easy answer for number 4 if it's sports ownership. So I want to know, I'm opening it up. Sports villains.
See, I have an issue with this segment because the first 2 names that came to mind have to do with Charlotte teams, and that was George Shinn.
George Shinn,
from the Charlotte Hornets. The man literally ripped out the heart of the Carolinas by moving Charlotte out of here because they would not build him a stadium or an arena without him paying a dime. As soon as he moves them out, the city of Charlotte decides they're going to build Time Warner Arena, and then they get the Bobcats a year later. So it was all about just pettiness. They just didn't want to appease George Shinn because of his past and background and whatnot. And then
that's a good candidate. Jerry Richardson's a candidate too.
That was the other one.
All right, the first 2 that come to mind. And initially, we had said this was going to be owners, so that's why my mind is going ownership here with these first 2 names I'm going to say for this 4th spot. And one of them's the obvious one. It's Daniel Snyder. Like there's no fan base that hates their owner more than the Washington Commanders football team back to the Redskins. There's no fan base that hates their owner more.
I hear it all the time from
Redskins. I know. I grew up in Virginia. I got Washington fans in my family. Nobody likes it. I've never met a single soul that likes Daniel Snyder. Not one.
I posted the question out on Facebook, and our good friend Mark Pruitt, the editor of the Clemens Courier, was very quick to say that Rushmore is not complete without Daniel Snyder.
I would agree with that. The other one I would say is Donald Sterling.
You probably should have been one of the first ones mentioned.
That's Like,
yeah, that's pretty good.
I feel like a lot of, and you said Steinbrenner. I feel like a lot of Yankees fans might defend George Steinbrenner.
There's love-hate for George Steinbrenner with Yankee fans. Not all of them will say that he's a villain.
Yeah. I got a response to the tweet I sent out. I went to high school with Doug High, who is a CNN correspondent at times. He used to run the communications department for the Republican National Committee, and so he's a Washington guy, but he loves his Steelers and he loves his Yankees, loves his wine too. His father was an institution in Winston-Salem, but he told me Steinbrenner is beloved. So we do have to take that into consideration.
I feel like, yeah. I mean,
you put him on Mount Rushmore if he's beloved as well, like by the fan base. Because I think most.
We might have to take him out because Ryan said Donald Sterling.
Well, if it's not just owners, and you're opening it up a little bit.
I am opening it up.
OJ Simpson.
Oh wow!
Oh, James.
Whoa! Hold on now. I won't even go into players. I was just going to state
most polarizing name. I mean, there's no more polarizing name in the history of sports than OJ Simpson.
Like OJ's got his own mountain beside Mount Rushmore, probably his own thing on the other side of the park. Like he's just got his own little situation going on over there. I don't know if you want to share it with everybody. I was going to say Jerry Krause. I was going to bring Jerry Krause up. He. In theory, you could say he's the reason why the Bulls only have 6 rings.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a lot of Chicago fans that hate Jerry Krause. That's
for no reason. He just kind of broke them up because he wanted to build it. Like he thought it was going to be easy to rebuild this, and
he also owned the White Sox too. I
think a lot of the hate comes from the White Sox.
Yeah.
Reinsdorf's the owner. Krause was the GM.
Yeah.
Krause was a White Sox scout. And then when he purchased the Bulls, he asked to become the general manager. And Reinsdorf's like, sure. And they became the general manager. But having said that, he might be one of the greatest NBA general managers of all time. Like, if you look at what he did, like he rebuilt the Bulls roster from scratch twice to surround Jordan and won 6 rings out of it. Now, granted, he had Michael Jordan, so that helped a whole lot. But
I mean, I think the Warriors front office and the Spurs front office has to get a lot of consideration in basketball.
The Warriors are paying money. Like they're and they should. It's their players. But
we're by the way, we're really missing a local one here. Ray Caruth.
Ooh, you're on the players still.
Well, if we were putting Mount Rushmore in Mooresville, then I'd put his face twice on it.
I've got it, gentlemen. It's been staring us in the face the whole time.
I know what he's going to say, and I've got a counterpoint to it.
Yes.
I knew that was coming up. You can't do that because you've got a section. You got a section of people.
You got a section that loves him.
That's a very small section. Like
no. You go up north. Outside of Syracuse, Duke is the most popular team in the Northeast.
Jersey, all that area. But most people watch Duke games to root against them, like not for them. Like you'll find.
I agree. I mean, there's definitely a big contingent of that. I don't disagree.
And I wonder if that's going to trail off now that Kay is not the coach. Like Shire probably won't get the same kind of vitriol that Kay gets. I mean, hell, Kay's getting kicked around right now for sticking around for this last year when he could have just did like every other coach and just retire at the end of the year and not making a big deal. Then it blew up in his face twice. So
you know what's in it? He made the Final Four.
It didn't blow up in his face. He made the Final Four. He had a very successful season.
They had a great season.
I mean,
it ended poorly.
It ended poorly because they lost to Carolina. But if they had lost to anybody else in the Final Four, nobody would have said it. Nobody would have said it.
Right, but they did lose to Carolina in the Final Four, and it was his last game he ever coached. If you ask Coach K, would he have rather just lost in the Elite Eight instead of going to the Final Four and losing to Carolina? If you were alone with them at a cookout someplace and got them drunk, I bet he would say, you know what? I wouldn't have minded losing that Elite Eight game and going out that way. Like, we'd have went as far as we could, made a regional final. If I knew in advance we were going to lose to Carolina in the Final Four, he probably wouldn't have. He wouldn't have.
I don't think any competitor is going to say that though.
No, now
he's drunk.
Now here's what I'm putting on local Mount Rushmore. Here's my new face.
Local Mount Rushmore.
Local, right? Because we've already mentioned Ray Caruth, so I'm building
and Mike Krzyzewski.
Yeah, I'm building one over near Morganton, let's say. So we'll put Caruth, we'll put Kay on there, putting Desmond Johnson on it.
What did I do? What did I do? I got to hear this. Hey, I'll make a T-shirt out of it. Why am I a villain?
I got a local answer that I'm not going to say.
Really, you've got a local answer that. We're not on radio tonight.
We're not on radio.
Doesn't matter.
Oh,
do
boy,
we have some sort of relationship with this person? Is that what it is? If we have a relationship with them, keep it to yourself.
I know exactly.
No comment.
I know. Do I know what you're about to say?
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not gonna say.
He's not a villain. That's who I think it is. He's not a villain. He's not loved by many, but yeah, we're going to steer clear because I got too much stuff invested. But
we all just ended up subliminally on the same page, which is nice.
I think we're kind of all there.
Let's get back on track. Yeah. Let's get back on track. We need one name. Right now, our leading candidate. Are we throwing O.J. Simpson out?
I think he got to.
He's got his own. I think Dez established he's got his own.
He's like the Darth Vader of this category. Like the force is too strong with OJ. Like
he's got the trait. He like OJ has got.
That man wrote a book.
We know he did it. We know he did what he did, and he's walking around like signing on.
Well, he's not just walking around. He's posting videos on Twitter critiquing football.
Hello, Twitter world.
So you're basically taking the O.J. Simpson freeway up to this,
right? Like,
I think we could put O.J. and Ray Caruth on the same one.
Yeah, like Ray just wasn't at the Hertz car rental level of fame that O.J. Naked Gun fame. Ray
but his crime was
way worse.
I mean, you can make the case it was slightly worse.
On par. I mean, they both.
It was definitely on par. I mean,
the fame level, like he was Ray Caruth's level of fame was more like Pinky's records than Hertz.
Yes, I got one.
Oh boy,
what about Nick Saban?
Well, if you say that in the state of Alabama, they'll chase you out with pitchforks.
But he's a god.
There, but everyone else does. I mean, we just saw it earlier this spring with it bubbling over with Jimbo.
Well, to be fair, Jimbo is a clown himself. If anything,
face paint and all.
That was something that Jimbo had been holding on to for about a decade or so. He was like, "I'm just gonna one of these days, I'm gonna catch this dude slipping in a hallway or something. We're gonna be 80 years old, and I'm just gonna go off and steal him." And he got a chance to do it in front of a microphone. And he just once he went. But I think he said a lot.
He could have dropped a mixtape after that. It was so good.
He really could have. Besides that,
he ethered him.
Who's out there? Tom Brady. All right, Tom Brady. Tom Brady. What is wrong with me? Tom Brady.
Nah.
Time out. Wait a minute. This time I cannot believe I'm going to go ahead with Desmond on that. But there are so many Irish white men who love that Tom Brady. They're the same guys who love. They're the same guys who loves Tim Tebow.
No, that's not me at all. That's not me at all.
No, that's not enough. That's like a church. That's not enough to. Tom Brady has ruined the dreams of so many different fan bases across the NFL over 20 years. He's going to own every record there is. And he just retired and came back after wasn't even 2 months. Like, he gave us that 1 month and some change of, he's finally gone.
Well, I think Jordan's retirement might have been worse than that, honestly. He got you 2 years. He got you 2 years of thinking you were done with him, and then he came back. I mean, Tom Brady was just a little bit of a team. Tom Brady was just a little bit of a
the difference here is that we wanted. We wanted.
No,
we didn't want to leave.
No, that was the happiest day. That was the happiest day of 2022 for me when Tom Brady announced he was coming back. I ran out in my street.
No,
I ran out. I was screaming.
He was so happy, Des. It was ridiculous.
Oh, you're a Boston because you like the Celtics.
I like the Buccaneers. I don't care.
He likes the Buccaneers.
I don't care about.
He's all over the place like me.
No.
He likes the Bucks. He likes the Celtics.
Dez likes the damn Lakers. Dez likes the damn.
I grew up on we didn't have an NBA team when I was 5. Like I grew up on the Lakers, and back then it was either like the Lakers.
25 other teams closer to you than the Lakers.
No. Desmond's all in. You know that Desmond's Desmond's going to have a big day when you see him make a Facebook post talking about Mamba mentality. That means he is overworked and overbooked for that day, and he's about to go and get it. So yeah, he's a Lakers day one as you could get it. Let's get the leaders in the clubhouse right now. Let's
add Bill Belichick.
Now that Bill Belichick is more hated than Tom Brady.
All right, let's talk about Belichick. But leaders in the clubhouse right now, remember who's in the clubhouse. Donald Sterling's in the clubhouse. Daniel Snyder's in the clubhouse.
Jerry Jones.
He's already on the.
What did Jerry Jones do to be hated?
Well, I mean, the Cowboys haven't won. The Cowboys haven't won since '96.
Cowboys fans,
but does that
like
make
Jerry
him a
Jones
villain or just a bad owner?
No, he's a bad person.
So Darnell Sterling, Jerry.
But I think Snyder's ahead of Jerry Jones. But look, guys, I've already got Jerry Jones on this Mount Rushmore. We're looking for one spot.
That's right, we're looking for one spot. By the way, did we not take Steinbrenner off?
We took Steinbrenner off and added Donald Sterling, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
so Sterling, Jones, Snyder. So
Sterling, Jones.
What about James Dolan?
I mean, he's hated, but he's not as bad as Daniel Snyder.
I don't know. There's a lot of.
I don't think he's hated as much as Daniel Snyder.
They're a little angry with the Knicks situation here.
I hate.
They're going to get Kyrie Irving, and everything's going to be okay.
I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it real low.
No, that's a thing. Like the Nets, and that came out today. The Nets and Kyrie Irving are at an impasse on a contract extension.
Yep.
Lakers, Clippers, Knicks. Those are the three teams. Those are the three teams that are supposedly interested. I pray he goes to
Lakers don't even have any money.
No, there would be a sign and trade.
It probably will. If I end up with LeBron and Kyrie in Los Angeles, I'm going to be mad because that's what I actually asked for 3 years ago when he was in Boston. I was like, they need to get together in LA, and it would have avoided the Russell thing. It was supposed to be LeBron, AD, Kyrie. So when LeBron retired, it'd be AD and Kyrie. No slippage. Lakers do what Lakers do. Lakers things. But then Kyrie did what Kyrie does, and if you're going to trade
Kyrie Irving, though, Anthony Davis probably has to be a part of that trade.
Ryan, before I mention James Harden as one of the villains, let's get Dez in trouble. Here's a suggestion. How about Herschel Walker?
Herschel as a villain?
Somebody doesn't watch his news.
No, I know what's going on. He's got a bunch of secret kids all over the place after he said it was bad to have secret kids. I don't think that makes him a villain. I think it just makes him dumb. You know what I mean? Don't say stuff and know in the back of your head that you got illegitimate children spread out across the country. Like, might want to steer away from that topic, Herschel Walker. I can't call him the villain because he's the reason why the Cowboys won their 3 rings in the 90s by them trading him off. So
that's very
I'm
true.
Good. I'm good with Herschel and his contributions.
All right, fine. All right, let's go back on track. I'm going to submit James Harden. Are there James Harden fans that aren't rappers?
There are, actually, and they're on the rundown. Brandon Blakeney has been a huge James Harden supporter for like the past 5 years. He defends him. It's in the theme. It's in the theme song for the rundown. It's him saying James Harden's a better scorer than Michael Jordan. Like it.
Yeah, you're right.
They're out there. They are out there.
He's the only one I know.
Yeah, he's the biggest one. He's the biggest one on Tobacco Road. I know that. What about LeBron?
Nah. He won a championship in Cleveland. It's hard to put LeBron up there. It's hard to put LeBron up there.
I'm trying to think of someone that just everybody hated.
I can't believe JP hasn't said the Reds owner yet.
But nobody cares about the Reds.
That's fair.
Christian Laettner.
Yeah.
What? Christian Laettner.
Ooh, now you're getting somewhere.
Christian Laettner.
I mean, they're 30 for 30 on that.
That's such a good 30 for 30.
Honorable mention. It's very good. Very well done.
The one that came out this past week on the 1996 U.S. Women's National Team, the Women's Dream Team, is a must see. If you haven't seen it yet.
I've seen part of it. I haven't seen all of it yet, but that's pretty good.
It's so well done. But so Christian Laettner was a very good villain. And I think he's a candidate for that list.
He hasn't played college ball in 30 years. Yeah, they hate him just as much. I was going to say like Grayson Allen or somebody, but
no,
Christian Laettner.
No, he's not on Laettner's level.
Honestly, you could put Tyler Hansborough up there too. I didn't realize how many people hate Tyler Hansborough for the way he played and how much he won. But it's not at Laettner level. Laettner
it's not Laettner
got to a level. Nah, Laettner somehow stepped on a kid in a regional final, didn't get kicked out, went perfect from the field, perfect from the free throw line, and hits the game winner at the buzzer. You can't hate it more than that. Like, that was the greatest basketball game I've probably ever seen. And for him to be the star of it, and when he should have got kicked out in the first half, that's the other
thing. Like, the other thing, you could hate Christian Laettner as much as you wanted. Like, he was still gonna rip your heart out when he was in college.
Hey, Ryan, I don't know if you knew this or not.
Real good too.
I was talking to our friend David Brody today, and he said he was 2 rows back on press row.
I did not know that.
And saw that. He went through a list. He was right on the free throw line where he made the shot. That's where his feet were. But Brody went through a litany of all the sporting events he's been at. Dude, my jaw dropped. My jaw dropped by the time he got to the whatever fight it was when Fan Man came into the ring. So
I'm going to nominate Duke. I'm going to nominate the Duke men's basketball team. And it's because of something Bomani Jones said on his show on HBO.
Okay, we got to preface this. Bomani Jones hates Duke because he went to UNC. Like, you're not going to tell me otherwise. And like, he tries to paint it as that's not the case. Like, he tries to paint it as he's trying to tell everybody's story about it. That's not what it is for Bomani Jones.
Yeah.
Like, he's never going to sell.
So for me and Bomani are close to the same age. I think he's mid-40s. I'm 44. We're right around the same thing. So some of the same events are still resonant in both of our minds. And it was a monologue he had about Duke and Coach K. It was right around Final Four or last home, whatever. And the real right time or whatever it's called on HBO. Really good show, by the way.
Oh yeah, I like Bomani Jones. I just think he does a little too much on the Duke hate, but I like Bomani.
Well, he mentioned this about Duke, and that to the African American young male in the 90s, the Duke Blue Devils are responsible for some of the most painful losses that their teams have experienced, like cultural teams, the UNLV Running Rebels, the Michigan Fab Five. Like the Arkansas in '94, like
Arkansas beat dreams. Arkansas beat them.
Right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but you know what that tells me? But you know what that tells me about a lot of people? They jump on a lot of damn bandwagons.
Yep.
So I don't feel that bad. Like, I don't because they're not. If all these people's hearts beat every time, then they're just jumping on bandwagons and they're not real fans. So I'm sorry.
They were kind of shooting. They were shooting stars. UNLV was 2 years. I mean, honestly, most people got on that first year.
Most people hated UNLV. In all honesty, most people hated UNLV at that point. In all honesty,
there were a lot of scared white people that were scared of UNLV when they first came.
That's a very, very true thing.
That's very true.
They were. I mean, shorts were still up to here, and Duke represented a certain thing, and UNLV represented something else.
That was the Fab Five too. I mean,
okay,
Fab Five took UNLV to the next level.
By the way, who beat the Fab Five? Bomani. Who beat them in the national championship?
Duke. That's my point.
No, national championship. Who beat the Fab Five?
That's the point he was making.
UNC beat the Fab Five in the national championship.
In the second one, yes. But
that wasn't it. No, Duke did not beat Michigan in the national championship.
They beat them in the national.
Yeah, I think they beat them in the semifinals.
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they beat them in the semifinals.
Carolina got the Fab Five in the finals. Duke got them in the national semifinal. Yeah,
pretty sure. Duke beat UNLV and Kansas.
Kansas.
Yeah,
Kansas first, and then.
Or no, UNLV first, and then Kansas.
Yeah, that's right.
Those are the two. Yeah,
they beat UNLV
first. They beat them in the semifinals. So again, this is because Bomani Jones is a Carolina guy.
That is wrong. 1992 NCAA tournament championship game: Michigan Wolverines versus the Duke Blue Devils. I knew it was right because I was there when it happened. Like, it was Duke because Michigan was leading at the half.
That's right. 91, the national semifinal was Duke over UNLV. Then they played Kansas and won the national championship. And then they got Duke beat the Fab Five in 92, and then the Heels got them in 93.
That's correct. Because I was a huge Fab Five fan, and I was told, especially 93.
So Duke beat a freshman Fab Five team. So which one was really more heartbreaking? Duke was the defending champs. Like, Duke was gone at this point in 93. Like,
the Carolina loss is more just because of how it happened, because they were close. The Chris Webber timeout, Carolina was leading.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So if you're going to start about the heartbreak of seeing the Fab Five lose, the Carolina one's more prevalent than the Duke.
Because they were a better team. They were a better team than that Carolina team. I mean, honestly, they were a better team than that Carolina team was. Carolina played better. Well, I don't even know if I can say they played better. They played better that night, but
Carolina played better together and better under pressure. Boys,
they had the better coach.
We need
Carolina
a solid.
Carolina had the better coach.
Okay, I thought you meant Steve Fisher was better than Dean Smith.
No. I said Carolina had the better coach.
I said Carolina. Need one more name we can all agree on. It's not going on much.
Who is it?
Dale Earnhardt.
No, he's still selling merchandise at racetracks.
He's loved in the South. He's loved in the South.
I'm just throwing stuff out here.
I think it's either Belichick or Leitner.
Do we put? And I'm thinking it's Leitner.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think the amount of hate,
it's just so much hate.
Yeah,
it's still to this day,
the vitriol, with people with the hate.
If I saw Christian Leitner in Walmart, I would make a disparaging remark.
People hate Christian Leitner. People hate Christian Leitner so much that most people won't even acknowledge that he had a decent NBA career. By most men,
he did.
He averaged 14 a game. He made an All-Star team, and he averaged 14 a game. That's not a terrible NBA career.
I think it was with the Hawks too.
Yeah, he was with the Hawks. Yeah. He was on a Hawks team that's I can't remember if it was 96 or 98 with the Bulls.
It was 98.
The Bulls. Yeah.
So I think you're right. Yeah. It's crazy how much I know about Christian Leitner for a guy that I completely and totally hate.
That's the thing, because everybody knows about him because they hate him.
I can't stand that dude. He's got to be on here. Yeah, I hate him more than the other three combined that are on here.
Look here, Hubert. Do we have time? Do we have time to go through some Gatorade and Haterade today?
Go for it, because we already flew past where the commercial break was supposed to be, so just go for it.
So we'd like to thank our sponsors. Thank you, Walkertown Auto Sales. Thank you, Beamer Tire and Auto.
Jenny Fulton, Allen Tate Realtors. What else we got here? Kim Source Direct. Diamond Star Events. Shout out to Coach Ben McKinney, who's been on.
I got a question. If Christian Leitner wanted to sponsor the show, which
I would be afraid his check would bounce. So I would be like, yo, pay me in $5 bills, Christian Leitner, and we can get this done. But I can't promise we're not going to talk smack about you on the show that you sponsored.
There's
pay for it.
There is help. There is help for folks like you. Look, before we get to our Gatorade showers and Haterade showers, I might dump a Haterade shower on Desmond, but
for hating Christian Leitner.
Well, see, I think there was a lot of hate. You were almost buck nasty, but that's my title anyway. Ryan, how on Saturday you were undefeated through the Saturday's action in the College World Series with your prop bets and stuff like that. Where are we today at 8:58 p.m.?
We are 4-2. We went over on Sunday.
Who did you lose? What did you lose?
Notre Dame lost to Texas, or Notre Dame lost to Oklahoma, and I had Texas beating A&M. So. Okay.
So does that put Oklahoma through to the final?
They're through to the final of their side of the bracket. Yes,
of their side of the bracket.
So they will play. Sense. They'll play the winner of Notre Dame and Texas tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So you're 4-2. What is there any particular? Is there anything glaring that any listening bettors should jump on tomorrow? That's low hanging fruit. Or should we just say play Arkansas whenever they play?
Actually, that's not going so well right now.
Are they losing?
They're losing to Ole Miss last I checked.
Let me check on it.
I don't know, man. The College World Series is there's so it's such an open field. There was no huge favorite. Everybody in the field was plus 400 or more to win it. So I mean, that's a pretty open field.
That's awesome.
That's you only had one. This is the first time ever that at least 3 top seeds didn't make it. Only one made it.
See, I don't like that. I don't like chaos. I don't like having where everyone's all.
I don't know if it's chaos though, because it just shows how good the SEC actually was this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Ole
it.
Miss was the last team in the tournament.
Yeah,
I like it when there's a main juggernaut and everyone's trying to knock them off, like whatever sport.
Well, I mean, Notre Dame did that to Tennessee.
Maybe I just don't like baseball. Maybe that's what. Maybe that's, I don't know. But no, I just would rather have something. Mississippi, Ole Miss is up 6-3 on Arkansas, top of the.
That was what I saw last time I saw it.
That's just another conference game.
Excuse me, 8-3. They just changed to 8-3. So something.
All right. So since you're 4-2, Ryan, do you have any sunshine to spread or any hate that you want to give out?
It would be too easy. It would be too easy to post a haterade shower on the NAL officials after Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? That was just an egregious missed call.
Cobra still won. But.
What a great game.
It was. It was a fantastic game. Fantastic.
And
best game of the season.
The boys were so happy after the game.
Yeah, I saw a few of them.
Actually happy. Yeah, Red was happy.
I was at World of Beer after, and I saw a few of them. They were celebrating.
That's so good. I mean, I saw DJ treating his ever-present turf marks on his elbow. You know, but they played great. But so
Gatorade shower for the Cobras for winning that game.
I was going to say I normally am not part of this segment, but I want to give haterade to Kenny Atkinson. Like. Do you realize how unprofessional this is, dude? Like, you literally just accepted a job. The draft is 4 days away, and you just decide, you know what? I'm just not going to do this. I'm going to do a Bill Belichick and just basically bounce. You know, the day after I took this job, what are the Hornets supposed to do? Like, what are they honestly supposed to do? And they're catching the blame for this. They had nothing to do with this, and they're catching the blame for it for previous errors from the front office. This is actually one of the few times where the Hornets had nothing to do with this. And they still are going to get burned on it. So I want to give a haterade to
the Hornets have had like
worst week.
They actually had a good season, but like based on expectations and like they actually were above the expectations. I think they, before the season, their win total bet was like 38.5. Was like the over under, and they hit 44 wins, something like that. So I mean, they had a good season. Unfortunately, when they get into the play-in, they have to play freaking Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and then they have to play a Hawks team that made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Like,
just to show how bad the luck has been for the Hornets, did you see they had to walk to the arena to play the Hawks?
That was the beginning of the bad luck. Then Miles Bridges had the biggest brain fart in the history of Instagram, potentially. Like, he posted that himself. It's one thing if somebody else sees that and posts it. Like, that's,
he did it for.
But at least you didn't post it yourself. You posted that yourself. And then to compound that, his comeback was pink lemonade.
Yeah, come on, man.
Nobody's believing. Who posts a picture of pink lemonade? At least say there's vodka in it or something like that.
We can see the Jolly Rancher at the bottom.
Do what?
We can see the Jolly Rancher at the bottom. There is no lemonade in there.
He was holding a joint in
there. He was holding a joint.
With the cup. He was holding. It was like, dude.
At least he didn't try to say it was a rolled cigarette.
He didn't even acknowledge it. He was like, "Oh, that's a pink lemonade."
We're gonna, and lest anybody think that we're hating on the Hornets because we don't like the Hornets. The three of us want the Hornets to succeed.
Yes.
Please do something. I want the Panthers to succeed, and I am going to root for the Panthers this year simply because of the fact that I know you're not, and that's fine. But I want them to. I'm not going to root for them, but I want them to succeed, have some success, because everything in their orbit that doesn't have anything to do, or that's anything other than the players and some support staff, all the ownership and the coaching in that orbit, it's just a nightmare. And it continues to be a nightmare.
Define success for the Panthers this season.
Not doing anything Pantherish.
Winning the division.
That's not success.
No, that's not success.
That's not success. I mean, that's a huge amount of success.
Winning the division.
I'm saying a realistic
500. 500 is success.
No, our expectations are higher than that, to be honest. Because as Panther fans, we know looking at this roster, they're just a competent quarterback away from being a playoff team. Like they lost so many games last year just because the quarterback was just constantly throwing.
Ryan
it to
is
the
shaking.
team. They have the top 5
was,
defense. They revamped the offensive line with a Super Bowl champion and a dude from the Ravens that was a starter. Like, and Taylor Moton's one of the top right tackles in the league. Like they fixed the problems they had, but the main problem.
I have a question, Desmond. In that picture that Miles Bridges posted on Instagram.
Oh, here we go.
Were you leaning in like, hey?
No.
Were you like in the photo like this? Were you at the same place?
Look, me and Skylar Callahan hosted the Believe Panthers podcast. We'll be back in July. We said this last year and people laughed at us where we were like, this Panther defense can be a top 10 defense. Looking at it on paper, they ended up coming in like number 2 overall when the season was over with. This year, we've been like looking at it on paper. This offensive line can be a top 10 unit in the NFL, the way they've reconstructed it. We'll find that out too. If they can do all that and just find someone that won't turn the ball over at quarterback, it can be.
They also need Christian McCaffrey to stay healthy, which is a big ask.
Well, in theory, by rebuilding the offensive line and not practicing him, apparently.
I mean, when you've had the kind of injury McCaffrey has, it doesn't even necessarily have to be contact.
They've all been soft tissue, just him working out too much type stuff, and he looked like he slimmed down. So you keep him on the field. I'm telling you, get a quarterback, and thank God we missed the Deshaun Watson bullet because
I think 8 wins for the Panthers is a realistic good season.
Great, it's a good season.
It'd be 8 and
9.
8 and 9. That's a
and
great
probably
season.
If you go 8 and 9, you're probably in the discussion for the last playoff spot.
Yeah, probably.
With 17 games, you are. Let's move on because when Des gets on the Panthers, I start to simultaneously feel sorry for him and hate. Maybe Hubert Davis can take over at quarterback for the Panthers, and everything will be all right. Look,
about coaching.
I really want to give a Gatorade shower to Will Zalatoris, former Wake Forest golfer, runner up at the U.S. Open, but a great run. Great run for him. It was brutal, but man, that's the second time, and I know he hates it, but he is really quickly ascending into a worldwide number 1, and that's just, I mean, to be a former Wake Forest, a local product, doing that well, I've got to give some sunshine. Also, I come up with his name because it's very hard for me to find stuff to give Gatorade showers for. So let's get on to something I'm more well equipped.
I got a Gatorade shower.
What's that?
Your hat.
I know.
Fourth member of this episode, the fedora.
But your jealousy.
Jealous of what? My full head of hair?
I forgot to mention that on Twitter while we were doing this, Justin Sturwalt was listening. He suggested Marge Schott as a villain.
But they won the World Series basically with Marge, and Bob Castellini set fire to the franchise. So now Marge Schott. Marge Schott was a racist, but I don't know anything about Bob Castellini.
We already got a racist on here. We already got Sterling on here.
We got murderer. We got murderers.
Yeah, we got to spread this out.
Racists and adulterers on there.
Oh, we left Aaron Hernandez out.
We left the murderers off. Actually, we gave them their own.
We left Aaron Hernandez out.
No. That's good. No, Aaron Hernandez, Ray Caruth, O.J. Simpson, Freeway.
We could actually
Jason Williams can be the other one.
Oh my gosh!
So
OJ Hernandez.
Great.
OJ, Ray Caruth, Aaron Hernandez, and Jason Williams. There's the 4.
They're all living in the trailer park at the base of the villain's Mount Rushmore.
Well, Aaron Hernandez ain't living anywhere.
No. And honorary mention to Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Throw that in there.
Wow. Yeah, and that's actually a good segue.
You know what? You said Vince McMahon. Hulk Hogan.
Ooh.
You know, you said we already have a racist, but I'm having to say.
Yeah.
All right, and that makes now I actually feel bad that I've got to dish out this haterade shower. I don't know if you guys have. I know Ryan doesn't know anything about this, but Ric Flair next weekend was SummerSlam weekend. The SummerSlam is in Nashville, and Conrad Thompson, he's a mortgage empire builder, and he also has a bunch of wrestling podcasts that are doing really, really well, highly entertaining. And he is putting on his Starcast, which is kind of like our local WrestleCade that we have every November, which is great. You should go to it if you like sports entertainment, pro wrestling, whatever you want to call it. It's a great weekend, but this is a large event. It's going to be held. It's not affiliated with, but it's on SummerSlam weekend. And the highlight, the crown jewel is Ric Flair's last match. 73 years old, and
for the
he
18th
is
time.
for the yeah, it's gonna be, but they're saying this is it, and they're doing it. They're billing it under Jim Crockett Promotions, which I think is really cool. But the news came out today is that the tickets moved so fast. It was originally going to be held at the Nashville Fairgrounds, where they did the tapings for what was then known as TNA Wrestling. But the tickets moved so quickly that they're moving this wrestling card to the Nashville Municipal Auditorium, which is seats between 7,000 and 9,000, and they're going to sell every ticket. They're thinking it's probably going to be a tag team event where he's not going to have to carry it. And to Rick's credit, he's posting all kinds of videos about him training, and he's going to be working. He is working as hard as he can to be a part of this event. But Desmond's shaking head should tell you all you need to know about what we think about this. We don't love 73-year-old Ric Flair when it comes to putting our money down to watch something in the ring. We'll take 50-year-old Ric Flair.
We got 50-year-old Ric Flair, yeah.
We got 50-year-old Ric Flair.
We got him at 50, 52, 50. We get him every time he gets divorced, which is like every 3 years.
I don't want to see the dude.
It's just like
I don't want him to die on a wrestling ring. He just went through like major medical complications. Wasn't it last year? It wasn't that long ago.
No, it was farther than that. It was his last major surgery was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they say he's fine. So I'm going to give. I mean, I love Ric Flair. He is on the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, and any Mount Rushmore that doesn't include him, you should check the blood alcohol level of the person making that list. But I'm going to hate a little bit on the idea that he has something to prove, because quite frankly, I watched Starrcade 85 last night on the WWE Network. That was Dusty versus. It was Dusty versus Flair.
18-time champion or something.
Was it a cage match?
Cage match. You were there. This is the one you were at, and it was great. And he doesn't have anything more. That was 1985, and he didn't have any more to prove to me then. So I'm going to dump on him a little bit for that. But here, I want to end the show tonight with a haterade shower that the three of us can all agree on.
That's rare.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, we'll agree. This November is going to be the World Cup, held in the Middle East country of
Qatar.
Some people call it Qatar, but it's Qatar.
Qatar.
Right?
Who calls it Qatar?
Yeah, who calls it Qatar?
There's literally a Q on the front.
I think JP
There's a Q on it. No, I call it Qatar. Now, here's the problem. Here's what I read today about the World Cup. Now, Qatar is notoriously very conservative in its beliefs, to the point that premarital canoodling is outlawed.
Oh my!
And
how many people have been killed building these damn stadiums?
It has been
very. They're not conservative about those lives.
This is way worse than any of that. This is way worse than those lost lives building those makeshift stadiums. Punishable by up to 7 years imprisonment. Single people caught playing the piano during the World Cup in Qatar going to jail. They're being arrested. It's illegal. So let me turn into Buck Nasty and hate on the nation of Qatar for discriminating against Frankie single people who are paying tickets to fly over to your country and watch soccer in your beautiful nation. That's, it's a very posh place. It's a very posh, well-moneyed place.
A lot of money in Qatar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it'll probably be 150 even in November in Qatar. But a big hate. You would think that they could suspend that rule for a month.
I would think that FIFA would take it out of damn Qatar after all the people that have freaking died building the stadiums. But
I mean, from what we know about FIFA and all their scandals, the second they even heard a rumor about this, they should have yanked this out and brought it to Fayetteville or whatever they need to do, and for the World
Vietnam
Cup.
Hosting the World Cup and the great.
Look,
Atlanta is a host site in 2026 or whatever.
Yeah, hold it. Yeah, let's hold it down at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. We'll get down at East Carolina. That's fine, but that's the most ridiculous things. What?
The local recruiting news.
Yeah. I meant to say this too.
Defensive end linebacker Samaj Turner from Reagan announced about an hour ago that he will be attending Duke. I don't know what Duke's doing, but they've been coming through here and picking up players because
Duke is
so.
Well, they got Mekhi Wall from Dudley. They got Mekhi Wall from Dudley last year too.
Right.
So they're hitting the Triad Sports.
Mike Elko has not forgotten or damaged his relationships with high school coaches around here, and he has gone in and made a good effort to get his team better in a hurry.
Yeah,
Wake is letting a lot of these kids in Forsyth County get out from under their nose.
That's weird because they weren't doing that before because they lived over at East Forsyth. They were just taking running backs.
Pendleton's going to Notre Dame. Turner's going to Duke. Brown's going to Duke.
So
a bunch of guys in this area have gone to UNC.
Yep.
Jamal Jarrett was
announced
on July 19th.
Jamal Jarrett.
Yeah. UNC, Auburn. UNC, Auburn, and Georgia. I believe they're probably. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll
go to UNC too.
So
I feel like that's I feel like he's a UNC guy too.
And another local note, Mr. Atmore, the backup to our favorite quarterback over at Grimsley, who's now at James Madison, posted on his Instagram or Twitter earlier today something that said like #new beginnings, and he was at the UNC camp and he tagged Dudley's account. So Andrew Atmore.
Actually, Grimsley does have a young quarterback that's younger than him that I think is already getting recruited. So
they got some
there's some competition there.
And
they also, Grimsley's the pipeline is not there. Grimsley, they got dudes.
Grimsley has figured it out. They're not going to flash the pan 1 year good type thing anymore. Yeah.
And wait a minute, is my phone vibrating yet? We'll have to also talk about East Forsyth's quarterback is racking up offers. Who was it that just got offered by the Citadel? He added that to his. I think that was
one of the DBs, right?
Yeah, I think so. They've got East is
just loaded with D1 talent.
Yeah.
So they're good, and that's just going to keep on coming. Although I was just gonna. Let's talk more about Reagan. Let's see if we can get Todd to call me.
Well, actually, we're out of time. But
we're out of time.
But as we'll go into July with these extra franchise player episodes, I was hoping that we would actually get into some of this high school football talk.
Yeah.
Maybe get one or two of these coaches to get on here in July and the dead
which
period.
Is what I wanted to tell you. Ryan and I talked about it. They say that football season begins on August 19th.
Right.
Tonight's a night, good as night as any to announce that it's football season. Ryan and I are going to start leaning in. The Triad cares about its high school football.
Let's go.
It cares about the Panthers. It cares about college football. But if Tobacco Road Sports Radio is about going local, we're going to go local for you.
Let's do this then, because I'll still be here. I'm on vacation next week, but I'll be here for Monday for this. How about the Monday after that's July 4th. If you want to do franchise players that week on that Tuesday night, why don't we use the 5th as the schedule release for WTOB and WCOG. We can go through it. We can try to grab Joe Serrera. We can just do the whole show on
They're
that.
not ready. They're not ready for the schedule release.
Oh, they have no idea what's about to happen. There's a ridiculous amount of games. I was sitting there looking at it the other day, and I'm like, can we do this? Oh, we did this last year. But it's just any good game you can think of, it's on the schedule. We'll have it available for you to listen to either through your phone or terrestrial radio or wherever. So I'm excited. I don't want to wait any longer to put it out. So if you want, we can do that the July 5th show.
I'm already excited for me too.
And we'll also do we'll do a Mount Rushmore of area football coaches.
Oh my gosh. That would be kind of fun.
If we go, so if I give you Adrian Snow, Daryl Brown,
like current coaches.
Yeah, we're saying current.
Yeah,
if I give you those three, who would be your number 4?
Well, who are the 3?
We're not doing that. I'm just joking. We're not going there.
Who was the 3?
I'm not sure.
I was joking. I was joking. I was trying to.
I don't think you said Willard.
No, that was the third one he said. I think
no, it isn't.
Oh, well,
I don't think you said Willard. Yeah, I put Willard up there.
Okay.
No, I was trying to see if my phone would. I was trying to see if my phone would buzz, but no, we're not going to do that. We got a lot more stuff to get.
Dudley Stephen Davis needs to be on there. Like we need to do this one. This would actually be good.
No, we're not doing that. I'll get
the boy up in Reedsville. He's got to be on there. He's got
Jimmy's name is on the road that leads up to the Mount Rushmore.
No. His name is above.
He's got like his name is above all his rings. And
welcome to Jimmy Land. This is a good idea. Thanks for joining us tonight on Franchise Players. For the man on the wheels of steel, Desmond Johnson of JP Mundy, and the next head coach, the Charlotte Hornets, Ryan Stone. We'll see you Friday, guys.